It is my privilege to present our mayor, Mayor Lenny Curry, to present his budget address. Please join me in welcoming Mayor Curry.
Good morning. Good morning, Council President, Council Vice President, and all of the members of City Council and the people that are in attendance today. I want to thank each of you on this council for your work with me and my administration over the course of this last year. We have done much good together. I also want to thank each and every member of this council for your unanimous support of the August 30 vote on County Referendum Number 1, pension reform, yes for Jacksonville. With a yes vote, it will allow us to provide the services that we're supposed to be providing to all of the people of Jacksonville, every single neighborhood, every single zip code, including the cities and the beaches involved. I want to thank my executive team, my division chiefs and directors for all of the hard work you've done over the course of this last year and the hard work that you did in working to put together a sound, strong, responsible budget. One of the things that I've experienced over the course of the last year is that there's no shortage of opinions and advice on what we should be doing, how we should be crafting, and what public policy should look like. But here's what I've also experienced. It's something that I knew intuitively, I experienced it in the campaign, and now I see it as mayor. The best and most powerful information and knowledge that I get that affects my decision making is the words and the wisdom I get from the people in the neighborhoods. I still spend time on front porches, walking the streets, talking to people, and hearing and seeing exactly what people go through every day is what really drives me when I get back to the office to craft the direction we should take this city. At a time when we see cities around the United States, and frankly even the world, where it seems to be people are torn apart and they're divided, I will say that I'm proud that our city, while we sometimes disagree, we are all working together to truly be one city, one Jacksonville. I've spent time in the neighborhoods talking directly with activists that don't agree with everything that I do, but through communication and work, we can be one city. There are members of the faith leaders that are here today that will be joining me later this morning, to talk about some things. But I have been meeting with and talking with these faith leaders, some even before I was elected, and all of these since my election. They guide me, they provide wisdom, and while I know, because I've seen it firsthand, that certain neighborhoods have been left behind, in seeking their wisdom, it's clear to me that we've got to make some of the wrongs of the past right for all of the neighborhoods and zip codes of this city. This budget reflects the constraints that we face due to increasing pension costs. In 2009, pension costs were 9% of our operating budget. This year, they are approximately 27%. To that end, this budget addresses critical needs and mandates first. This budget is fiscally responsible. For example, like last year when we paid down debt, this year we will pay down a net $14.8 million in debt. We continue to do more with less. In 2009, with a population of under 900,000 people, we had about 8,000 employees. Now with a population of over 9,000, we have 7,205 employees. I've implemented a safety program that's producing results by lowering the number of accidents and lowering the financial cost to our city. This is an example of how we're saving the taxpayers' money and providing a safer workplace. One example is that our auto liability claims alone, we've seen a 53% reduction in claims, which is a $443,000 savings. We've developed and included in this budget new metrics with baseline targets that aim at measuring and ensuring efficiency and service for the taxpayers. If we can measure it, we're measuring it. Where we can't measure it, we're figuring out how to measure it. Unfortunately, this budget is also a no to a long list of needs. A list of asks from people and constituency groups, and a list of things and some of the things that I want to do that I've just frankly had to say no to in this budget cycle. For example, downtown development projects like Berkman, and Trio, and Shipyards. No. Restoring approximately 13,000 previously cut library hours. No. Additional fire stations, 5 of which are lagging development for fire station development studies. No. A number of additional fire personnel that were requested. No. Increased countywide grass mowing. No. Some perspective on this, because this is an example of how we've eroded our services. We are only mowing 8 times a year. Imagine mowing your yard 8 times per year. Additional code enforcement officers to fight blight. No. Road resurfacing and sidewalk repairs above minimum mandates. No. $500,000 to Hemming Park. No. And the list continues. I've had to say no, not because I want to, but simply because I must. Just over a year ago, I promised the hardworking people of Jacksonville that I would always tell the truth and make tough decisions. And as you all know, the truth is our unfunded pension costs are eating our budget alive and our ability to provide the services we are supposed to be providing. But I also made a promise to protect the safety of the people of Jacksonville. Police officers have been severely cut by the previous administration. In 2010, we had 1,750 police officers that were funded by the general fund. Today, we have 1,628 funded by the fund. That number today includes the 40 new police officers and community service officers that I funded last year. I see some of you sitting here. Thank you for being here this morning. Public safety is one place that we should not be doing more with less. That is why in this budget today, I present funding another 40 new police officers and 40 new community service officers. My commitment to public safety is working. With the additional police officers we've added and working with the sheriff and providing overtime, and the men and women that are doing the good work that they do every day, we've seen a 40% decrease in non-domestic shootings since January. These aren't just stats and data. We're talking about real people's lives that have been impacted. Additional public safety commitments in this budget include replacement of the end-of-life 911 system for police and fire, $2.7 million. $14 million in police vehicles and $7.5 million in fire, which includes the vehicles for the 40 new police officers and CSOs, most of which are paid for with cash. Working with Sheriff Williams, I know that one of the plans that he has, and he has the resources, to fund a body camera pilot program, a move that is good for law enforcement and a move that is good for the community. Thank you, Sheriff. Insect-borne diseases like Zika are a threat to public health. Yet in Jacksonville, our current insect control helicopters are in such disrepair, such neglect and disrepair that we cannot even insure them. That is why we are replacing a mosquito control helicopter in this budget. While we increased funding to the Jacksonville Journey last year, we are maintaining that funding in the current budget. A build-out for fire station number 56, which we're only able to do because we have a federal grant that is set to expire, a federal grant that will give us $1.5 million for this build-out. The land for Station 56 will also be donated to the city. 12 grant firefighter positions are set to expire, but they've been carried over to the general fund this year, maintaining our current level of fire service. My 5-year capital improvement plan in this budget adhere to all code established minimum funding criteria. It addresses critical infrastructure repair, maintenance, and other mandates as a city. Unfortunately, no significant enhancements are included due to limited resources. This year's CIP totals $83.3 million, of which $33.8 million will be paid for with cash. How are we paying for this with cash? This speaks to the good project management and cash management of my administration. Highlights include the following. over $1 million in library maintenance and improvements, paid for with library trust fund fines, $5.5 million in ADA compliance for sidewalk, curb cuts, and ramps. This number could have been much higher, $5.5 million, but the Jacksonville Transportation Authority has $7 million in federal grants that they are putting towards these ADA compliance issues as well to help our city. For that, we should all be grateful. Over $2.5 million in sidewalk construction and repair, $12 million for roadway resurfacing, $2,250,000 for parks and recreation projects. This includes $250,000 for Hemming Park for baseline operating expenses to be paid monthly and monitored by my staff and city council, by the council president has for committee work on the future of Hemming. $6 million for countywide drainage rehabilitation projects. $6.8 million for Lower East Side drainage project. $2.1 million for Trout River, Mont Creek drainage projects. $11.5 million for Trail Ridge landfill expansion. $3 million for the Jacks Ash Site pollution remediation. This week, I will also introduce under separate legislation a proposal for $15 million of septic tank phase-out projects. These are the $15 million that I negotiated with the JDA. The JDA gave us the $15 million up front for septic tank projects. This cash is available, and my team and I are ready to put it to work. The first communities that will benefit from these dollars are those in Northwest Jacksonville, represented by Councilwoman Brown and Councilman Brown. While we do more with less, this budget reflects my continued commitment to the safety of the people of Jacksonville. Public safety has been and always will be my top priority. It is government's number one function. As I said at the beginning, and I want to say again, I'm grateful to every one of you members of council for your unanimous support on pension reform. It is the most important issue facing our city right now. And a failure to act poses a very serious threat for our city's future. Along with council, I want to thank members of the legislative delegation and Governor Rick Scott for working with us and giving us this opportunity for real reform and solutions. If we do nothing, 27% of our budget will continue to climb and be obligated to the unfunded liability. That's 27 cents out of every taxpayer dollar going toward this obligation instead of the quality of life priorities that I've had to say no to in this budget year. It will only get worse year after year. In an effort to protect the city's financial future, I have set aside $3.5 million in reserves for future pension costs in the event that pension reform is not put in place. But understand the austerity and the financial crisis is real. And anyone that tells you that it's not is either uninformed, don't understand it, or they're not telling you the truth. So that's why on August 30th, every single registered voter in Duval County, every registered voter will have an opportunity to vote yes on county referendum number 1. I encourage all of you in this room today and every voter in the city to vote yes for Jacksonville. And as always, working together, we can assure that we are one city, one Jacksonville. Thank you.